Victims' rights attorneys serve a key role in assisting victims of crime with asserting and seeking enforcement of their rights. In this short training video, we will discuss the role of a victims' rights attorney and highlight some of the benefits to survivors of having access to a trained and knowledgeable victims' rights attorney. NCVLI is joined in this video by 3 experienced victims' rights attorneys: Cassie Houston, Legal Director at Rocky Mountain Victim Law Center in Denver, Colorado; Elizabeth Well, Legal Director for the Ohio Crime Victim Justice Center; and Kathleen Cady, one of the members of NCVLI's Board of Directors. All of these lawyers have worked with victims of crime to assist them with understanding, asserting, and seeking enforcement of their rights in their respective jurisdictions. None of these attorneys started their careers as victims' rights attorneys. Like many victims' rights attorneys, they brought with them experience in other areas of the law when they turned their focus to victims' rights. Victims' rights attorneys can assist victims in a variety of ways, depending on the facts of the case and the rights at issue. Generally, victims' rights attorneys can provide victims with privileged legal advice, work one-on-one with victims and engage in legal advocacy on their behalf, assist victims with navigating criminal justice and with exercising their rights, and represent victims in court and file motions that assert or seek enforcement of victims' rights. Let's hear from some victims' rights attorneys as they answer some common questions about the role they play in assisting survivors. When might victims reach out to a victims' rights attorney for help?
Frequently, people contact us when they want to make sure that their voice is being heard. When things aren't going well in a case and they feel like they're not getting updates, they're not being listened to, where their interests might conflict with those of a prosecutor, they're looking for some way to ensure that they can meaningfully participate in the process, and that's often when they reach out and look to get an attorney of their own.
Why might victims having their own victims' rights attorney matter?
In most of our states, we have constitutional amendments for victims' rights. In all of our states, we have statutes that provide rights for victims. And without victims' rights attorneys, oftentimes those rights can become empty paper promises when the people in the criminal justice system don't believe in those rights, right? I can't say how many times the judge has said, I understand we have this constitutional amendment, I'm not going to abide by it. And so the advocacy is amazing, and no one would or should diminish the services advocates can provide. But when the rubber hits the road and you need to file a motion, you need to file an appeal, that's the time when victim attorneys step in. And I would say that the vast majority of the referrals from my organization come from advocates who recognize we've taken this as far as we can. We really need a legal filing at this point. We really need active representation at this point. So the partnership is amazing, and it's absolutely critical.
Why should victims' rights attorneys and advocates partner to serve survivors?
Working with advocates and community-based advocates in particular is essential to providing good trauma-informed services. It makes sure that we can help better navigate the trauma of both the victimization and the experience of navigating the legal system, and can make sure that with advocate expertise and partnership, we're communicating things in a way that is clear so people can have meaningful participation in the process.
Why are victims' rights attorneys helpful even when the victim and the prosecutor are on the same page? In Kathleen Cady's words,
even when you have a prosecutor who may be on the same page as the victim, it's really important for a victim to have their own attorney, who can have the ability to listen to them, who has that attorney-client privilege, who, if the victim has questions, because of course, having gone through something really traumatic, victims oftentimes will have questions and want to ask the same thing, maybe a couple of times, because even though they've heard it, they need someone who can tell them about the information and answer their questions again. And that's an important thing that victims' rights attorneys can provide, that perhaps prosecutors, because their caseloads are so heavy, don't have the ability to do. And of course, prosecutors are looking at it from the lens of, what can I do that's going to be best for the case? And a victims' rights attorney is really looking at it in terms of, what can I do to help the victim understand what's going on, to really be able to make choices that are best for them in their healing journey.
How has having a victims' rights attorney been helpful to survivors? In Cassie Houston's words, overwhelmingly, we get feedback from people that just having a voice and an opportunity to participate makes a difference in how they feel about their experience with the legal system. Even where cases are dismissed, or there might be an acquittal or an outcome they don't like, If they walk away feeling like they could participate and they were heard, which is often done by having an attorney, then they feel more satisfaction in the legal system overall. Victims' rights attorneys can assist victims of crime in so many ways. They can help victims understand their rights and options, including whether, when, and how to assert their rights. They can ask for remedies when rights are violated. They can file legal motions on behalf of victims, and they can help facilitate communication with the prosecutor and other criminal justice professionals. Don't overlook victims' rights attorneys as valuable referral partners. Bottom line, a single organization or victim services provider is unlikely to be able to meet all of an individual survivor's needs, whether they are needs for information, legal services, advocacy, medical care, housing assistance, spiritual support, and anything else that can arise in the aftermath of crime. And different organizations are able to offer different levels of privacy protections to victim communications. Collaboration is key because it helps victims get connected with the folks who are best able to meet their needs. Victims' rights attorneys are one part of that equation, and when a victim needs their own attorney, it's important to know where to turn in your community for those referrals. Victims' rights attorneys provide their services at many organizations nationwide. Search for attorneys in criminal cases on NCVLI's Victim Resources map to see some of these resources and organizations. You will notice that some victims' rights attorneys work at nonprofits dedicated to serving crime victims and providing victims' rights representation. Other attorneys provide this type of representation on an individual basis through a private practice not affiliated with a nonprofit organization. In addition, NCVLI is committed to expanding the field of attorneys who provide victims' rights representation. We train and provide technical assistance to attorneys nationwide who are interested in adding victims' rights representation to their legal practices. NCVLI can also help pair victims with no-cost attorneys through the pairing portal on the website of our membership organization, the National Alliance of Victims' Rights Attorneys and Advocates, NAVRA. If you would like to continue learning more about victims' rights and the role of victims' rights attorneys, additional resources are available on both NCVLI's website, www.ncvli.org, and on the NAVRA website, www.navra.org. On NCVLI's website, you can explore a range of additional free resources, including a number of in-depth articles in NCVLI's Victim Law Library. You can also visit our website to request additional technical assistance and trainings on victims' rights-related topics.